are Ms. Miller, Ms. Heisel, Mr. Fisher, Mr. Gannon, Dr. Barksdale, Mr. Sahanowitz. Councilwoman Meza Gonzalez said she would sign it, but she has not yet done so. So if she does, we will know her presence when she signs it. We do have a quorum. Okay, the first item on our agenda is the Board of Directors vacancy. Before we actually get to the item, I want to take a couple of minutes to review how we got here. Because it's been a couple of months since we've met and went through this, some of which was done post that and has not been discussed publicly. So in the interest of complete transparency, I want to make sure everyone understands how the process proceeded. So at our May 11th meeting, this board group had a motion and passed to do certain things with regards to the vacancy created by the unfortunate death of Mr. Ruth. The first was the board stated quite clearly that we wanted this to be a public, an opportunity for the public to participate in this process. And so having done that, we passed the motion. That motion established the following. The first was to establish a timeline with a closing date of May 29th for applications, to develop and review an application and make it available to the public and publicize it with various media sources we normally use, to appoint an ad hoc committee to deal with two items. The first, filling this vacancy in the short term, and the second was to develop a longer standing board policy so that future boards would have an infrastructure which they utilize instead of having to develop one from scratch. So that was May 11th meeting. Subsequent to that, the staff developed an application. It was reviewed, it was accepted, it was put forth, and it was publicized. With a closing date, the closing of business on May 29th. Sorry. We ended up getting 15 applications for the position, which was significantly more than we had discussed in closed session. So we were very gratified by that. I asked staff, our board liaison set up Zoom interviews with all of the applicants who wished to speak to us. One of the 15 dropped out, so we scheduled 14 interviews. We split those in half, so Ms. Heisel and I interviewed half of the applicants, and Dr. Barksdale and Ms. Mueller did the other half. We developed a set of questions that were given to all of the applicants, so we had a nice common baseline from which to discuss our impressions and whatnot. After that, we whittled the list down to 5 final candidates. Again, Ms. Pichardo scheduled personal interviews in this room with those. All 4 of us were present for that. Once those interviews were concluded, we each separated ourselves for a few moments to gather our thoughts. And then we had I think what we call a spirited and in-depth discussions, the candidates, and at the end of that process, we came up with a single candidate. That candidate being Mr. Jonathan Melendez. All right. So now we will, I'm sorry, for the record, Mr. Ureste has joined the board meeting at this point. So that being the case, we have as an action item, filling the vacancy. Do we have a motion?
That motion.
All right.
I'll second.
All right, so would you name the individual in the motion?
I'm sorry.
Mr. Melendez's name. I want you to specifically.
Okay, I make a motion, Mr. Melendez.
All right, we have a motion from Mr. Sahanowitz, second from Ms. Heisel. Do we have any discussion? Mr. Ureste.
So I know you and I spoke, and I had a question as to why there cannot be any motions from the floor, because I know there was other qualified individuals, and so I don't know this gentleman. I don't even know if he's here.
Yes,
How you doing? And so I don't know him. I've never talked to him, never met him, never seen him, and but I know 2 of the other final 5 that were on it, and so I'd like to make a motion for someone else.
Your person, okay?
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion for Diana Arevalo.
All right, we have a motion for Ms. Arevalo. Do we have a second? All right, we do not have a second.
Okay, then I'd like to make a motion for David Sosa.
David Sosa. We have a motion from Mr. David Sosa. Do we have a second? Okay. Any further conversation or discussion?
No, I think it's important to mention that in part of the process, and just to kind of clarify with Mr. Rusty, we had indicated to all board members who we were planning on selecting. We gave 48 hours for all the other board members to give us any kind of objection to that finalist.
No, I understand that, but I have a problem, or at least a concern. When the ad hoc committee is pretty much selected the person and supposed, and when you and I spoke, Mr. Gann, you said there could be no motion from the floor. And so that was very concerning to me.
Oh, if I said that, I misspoke. We obviously, it's an open item on the agenda, so anyone can get a motion. Yeah,
And that was,
I don't remember saying that, but I did.
yeah, so that was my concern, that's why. Said that, kind of like, well, there's something wrong here, so, now that I know it, then we're good.
Okay, I think it goes back to the fact that because of the short term that was available, when the board established the ad hoc committee, it was specifically asked that they be bringing to the date. And so I think we were trying to fulfill the charge with the board gave we had.
Right. Mr. Rez, the two persons that you mentioned were thoroughly briefed by the ad hoc committee on the process of what was going to happen. They agreed to.
Do we have any further discussion? All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations and welcome to the board.
Mr. Gannon, at this time, sir, I'd like to introduce the Honorable Jacqueline Valdez, District Court Judge, to do the swearing in, Mr. Melendez. Sir. Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand. I, Jonathan Melendez,
I, Jonathan Melendez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of
of the office of
Fair Central Appraisal District Board of Directors
Fair Central Appraisal District Board of Directors
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Let the record show that Councilwoman Member Gonzalez has joined us via the. Welcome.
Take a moment for
Yes.
thank you.
Only people in working order to take it. One more show, sir.
We all ready?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3. Think we're good?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Honor. Likewise, Jeff. Take care.
All right.
So.
Yes.
It's certainly not that.
Randy?
I know. All right, thank you. Thanks again to Judge Valdez for taking time out of her busy day to do this. We deeply appreciate your assistance. And I want to thank the staff for all the work that they did to support the ad hoc committee. Particularly, I'd like to recognize Ms. Procedural, who set up all the meetings, and without his help, this would still be going on. So thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, so. All right, so welcome to the board. Do you have anything you want to say before we proceed?
Well, I would just like to say, I'm very honored and humbled by this, great honor to be a part of the board. I look forward to working with everybody here on the board and getting to know everybody and, doing well by the taxpayers of this county, sir. And just thank you again for the honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, do we have anyone signed up for public comment? Mr. Crowe, yes.
And again, you got my full support. It's just, my world, there's things, that we have to take care of. And so, again, I wasn't anything against you, and I had never met. You don't think of it. So got my support. Please call me if you need me.
Thank you, Mr. Yarosty.
And if I may, Mr. Gannon, Mr. Melendez, I'd like to welcome you also officially to the board of directors, sir. I've given you my name, my business card with my cell phone number. As every board member here knows, anything you need, let us know. If I'm not available, and I always am available, my other staff is here. We're at your disposal. Like I said, we have a very great board of directors, very supportive. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of my staff and myself. Thank you, sir.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the June 8th, 2026 meeting. If you haven't had a chance to look at those, I will give you a minute to review them and see if there are any edits.
Do we have any comments?
Yes, no, not at this moment.
I already have.
Oh.
No problem.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the board meeting.
I'll second, Mr.
All
Gannon.
right, we have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
I,
Any opposed? Very good. All right, at this point, the board will go into executive session.
Yes, sir.
1:44 p.m.
Yes.
That's okay.
Sure she is. You can see now again.
Yes, we are good to go.
All right, we are reconvening the board meeting at 2:15 p.m. There is no action that the board has to take as the result of conversations in closed session. So the next item on the agenda are reports. So our new look, Miss Crystal, is going to give us our findings.
Yes, in your binder, after tab A, I'm gonna read, we have April's financials and May's, but I'm gonna read from the yellow tab that's marked May. And you'll see our fund investment report dated May 31st, 2026. Total deposits are $13,043,663. Year-to-date interest earned was $127,698.42. We are over collateralized by $5,701,312. Sorry. We're going to turn to page 5. And you'll see, our year-to-date, total revenues collected as of May 31st, 2026 is $15,087,908. And if you turn to page 8, you'll see we have a fund balance as of May 31st, 2026 of $3,690,960. And if you turn to the next page, this is our designated cash funds. These are our reserve accounts that the district holds, and there were no changes as of May 31st, 2026. Do you have any questions?
Are we going to be encumbering any more funds for like the building? Is that something we do in September? Or
We'll talk
Budget.
about that when we do our encumbrance and our surplus in September, October.
because the million for the building has been encumbered for a while, but
Yes, ma'am.
that balance has been there for, can you remind me? Just ever the past few
4
years,
years at
3-4
least.
years.
4 years,
Yes, ma'am,
okay.
at least.
So you've had the million for 4 years, no more encumbrances on it.
Yeah.
That's-
And I'm glad you brought up the building, man, because that's one of the things that we would like to get with the ad hoc building committee to kind of regroup. We have toured some facilities right now, but again, it's been our focus of again, bringing on Mr. Melendez on board right now. But now that hopefully we'll get settled in for the rest of the year, we can, plan on meetings so we can discuss where we're at. Again, we've had several talks with our consultants, and we have toured some buildings. There are just things that we want to just bring all up to speed.
So when I know there's an ad hoc committee for the budget,
Mhm.
and is that something that they've been doing, is considering an additional encumbrance for the building?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Crystal will run projections. When we get a good idea of what we're looking at as far as at the end of the year surplus, that way we'll make any determinations as to what we come to the board to see if we can encumber. But right now, we're still just a couple of months away from getting a good number on that.
Okay, because I know we gave back to the taxing entities
Yes,
over
ma'am.
$1 million.
Correct.
So
1.2.
is that something we may consider encumbering for the next year?
Encumbering with the,
Any surplus, does it by law have to always go back to the taxing?
yes, ma'am,
entities?
whatever's not encumbered has to go back to the taxing
So we can
jurisdiction.
encumber it before they.
Yes,
numbers
ma'am.
out.
It's
Yes,
part of
ma'am.
the budgetary process.
Yes.
Yes,
I think one thing that we should look at as the budget is, because I'm the one that changed it, is we had gone up to a 30% operating reserve. I think we can drop that to 20%, especially with all the financial challenges that all different taxing entities are facing, and I'm not gonna go into all the numbers right now, but I think that may be something that we want to look at, is dropping that reserve from 30% to 20%, because that's a significant amount of money.
It is, and, I think the discussion we had before, we've been loath to do that. Once we knew that the elections were coming in, we had no idea what to act for. So we wanted to be conservative.
Yeah, I think our staff is pretty solid. I think
Yeah.
we can safely do that, drop it to 20%.
Is 20% average for most other appraisal districts?
I'll need to look into that, ma'am, because I don't think we were looking at it on a percentage basis. We were looking at a 3-4 month reserve basis.
Right.
So we'll look in, I can poll the other appraisal districts and see what, they have, if they have any. And that way I can come back to the board with an accurate number so that we can discuss it moving forward.
And I think more importantly, it's the taxing entities, very few have, 30%. And so I think 20% is definitely
Higher.
acceptable.
That's Roy's right. Usually it's calculated on the basis of so many months reserves, so in case of an unanticipated event, you can keep the doors open and the lights on while you figure out the rest of it. All right, very good. Thank you, Ms. Crystal.
Just for the record, Naomi Miller is not here. Sure.
Oh, yes, thank you, Mr. Arrested. Ms. Miller had to leave, so she is no longer with us. Appraisal records.
Okay, sir. And today's appraisal records, we do have a 2A for the 25-25B report. Once a quarter, we come to the board of any chief appraiser corrections. As of this quarter, we do not have any records to report, so you'll see no accounts on that for this quarter. And our B report, appraisal records report. We're at a significant time in the property tax calendar. We have 2 important dates coming up. We have July 20th and July 25th. But July 20th, the appraisal review board must timely hear and resolve all or predominantly all protest accounts by that date. And then by the July 25th, the chief appraiser shall certify the records to the assessor for the taxing units within the county. I'd like to report at this time, after 11 weeks of the 2026 protest season, we are at a good point to certify. We have processed over 120,000 protests to date out of the 183 that we have received. We are now looking at certifying around 95% by the end of Friday, which is a huge achievement for a populous county of our size and protest volume. And so all of our appraisal district efforts are going towards that certification process right now. With that, we look to probably schedule out the rest of the protest season within the last 7 weeks of the summer and hopefully wrap up the official protest season by the end of August, with just remaining protests carrying on to September. So we're in a good position to certify by the end of the week and wrap up the protest season pretty shortly after.
So since we have 95% being certified, how does that compare to our notice value?
Our notice value, well, our notice
So
value.
the notice value you give out in January or February,
You're talking like at the very beginning of where we were at, and then as far as what we've lost in, we can discuss
We're
one of
going
those
to
projections towards.
Our current market value at the county level is about 330 billion. It started out around 334, 335, somewhere in that range. I'll get you specifics when we get to Friday, because that will be the official certification at that point. That shouldn't, it shouldn't differ too terribly much. But the taxing entities will get the certified reports and all. Know that you'll be interested in this, and our plan is to have it out on the FTP site by noon on Monday. So we're going to be running and gunning all weekend to process all of the reports and exports and all of those types of things, so that we'll be able to hand it off to you and get started with that process.
Stephanie, is there any other questions that you want to ask as far as what the process?
No, they don't have a schedule, so they're just waiting.
Can you say that again, ma'am? Podium.
Feel free to speak up.
All kidding aside, sir. Mr. Resty, all kidding aside, we know how timely it is for us to do what we have to do so that y'all can do. And Scott's absolutely right. Once we finish, we pass the baton over. And again, I was making it tongue in cheek, but we do know the importance, and that's why we take it so seriously to get it to you as quickly as we do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions? Very good. Number 3 is recognition.
I just like to let the board know that we are required by the government code sections 2054.5191. 2 other sections here that all staff has to comply with cybersecurity training. I'd like to report that we have met that requirement. Like I said, this is just informational purposes. We are compliant with those sections of the government.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, item B.
congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. Item B, I would like to, well, a little bit of history. Back last year, with our elected board members, we kept talking about transparency. Transparency as far as changing the times to having quarterly meetings at night to allow people to come in, streaming our videos. So I started looking into what a few other districts had called the Comptroller's Transparency Star Award for open government. Because again, we talk about transparency, and that's one of the things that the board has really strived. This process we started back in June of 2025 when we first brought it to the board that we were going to attempt to get that. And again, this is a designation that recognizes local governments for going above and beyond standard transparency requirements. I'm happy to announce that the Comptroller has awarded us with that transparency star for open government. But again, I would like to thank the board because I wrote this down, and I have to give Ms. Jennifer credit because this closely aligns with the district's mission and more importantly, the board's goal as far as being transparent with the public. So y'all support and demanding of us to be even more transparent, forced us to do what we had to do. And our thought was, if we're gonna be doing that, let's see if we can get this award. And again, there's only four other, we're one of 5 districts that have received this award. So, again, thank you all. And if I may, I have to please, I want to recognize our key staff that was involved in helping us attain this. Earlier, you met our records management officer, Ms. Jessica Antu Sanchez. From our IT department, you have Ms. B. de la Cruz. From executive services, you have Maria Garza, Zandy Luther, Kelly Maddox, Delia Perez Renteria, Ms. Jennifer Rodriguez, our communications director, and a name that y'all know too, Mr. Jimmy Seiss. So I want to thank them collectively for helping us get this. They worked tirelessly to make sure that everything was up and running and so we could be compliant. And again, we received a letter from Acting Comptroller Kelly Hancock that we have been awarded it. So thank you. Thank you.
Say the video did have, I'm glad the videos are on the website now.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
helped me when I had missed last June, so.
Thank you. Yes. And again, this was all just in having discussions. So
And
thank
it
you all.
really, really helped.
Now, we put a lot on your plates to try and achieve the level of transparency that we want you. So kudos to the staff for sticking to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is the first time we've gotten this award.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but they've done these awards throughout other years.
Yes, there's several others. They're more towards finance. This is the first one that we wanted to get because again, open government. We'll look into trying to get the other ones too. Like I said, we already have one. Why not try to get the others?
It's always nice to have a goal.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I need to take a picture.
Oh, of course.
All right, taxpayer liaison, it's the right.
Walking kind of fast here. I just want to say good afternoon, everyone. So, my reports will be done next month. Not next month, it's August, right? That's the next meeting. I'm still compiling my reports, so they will be presentable in August.
Okay, very
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And it's nice to see that you've survived another with that smile unaffected.
Let's look to be up.
Yeah. Mr. George.
Afternoon. I too don't have anything to add that you haven't already heard. Following certification this Friday, I'll have a great deal more next month, so.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, that takes us to the end of our agenda. If anyone have to adjourn, we have a bigger motion. Second by Dr. Barksdale, all those in favor, please say